Did you know you can sponsor your favorite podcast on the Spin Market Podcast Network? Hi, everybody. My name is Peter Stockdale, host of the Spin Market Report. In 2025, our podcast had over 26,000 streams, and our YouTube channels had over 1.4 million views. Whether you're promoting a product, service, or event, we'll help you reach the audience that matters. Get more information on how to sponsor a podcast at spinmarket.com. Spin Market, your business, your message, our platform.
It's the Spin Market Report. Here's your host, Peter Stockdale.
All right, we are back. Marketing Monday.
Marketing Monday, and as we always say at Spin Market, it's the best day of the week.
Yes, these episodes come out every Monday. We talk to somebody new, or maybe we'll just sit down and talk to each other because we like to talk. So we're sitting down with Mary Ludwig today. Mary, you are the Director of Development and Alumni at Iowa Central.
I am.
All right. So how about you introduce yourself, how you kind of got into that role and
Sure.
the good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, thanks for having me and the invitation to be here today. Really appreciate it. It's always a joy to talk about Iowa Central and the good work that we do to make a difference for students and in our community and really the region. So I've been at Iowa Central this is my 8th year now. I'm a proud Triton alum, and believe it or not, I was a cheerleader there back in the 90s. Nice. Our cheerleading team has come a long, long ways. They are quite amazing. They're, very, very well respected in the work that they do to cheer on our teams. We weren't quite that organized back in the early 90s.
Oh, it's changed a lot. I mean, I remember going to like basketball games and stuff like that in the early 90s and stuff when I was a kid. And then to see, like, by the time I got to high school, I was like, oh, geez.
Yes.
It's a different beast now.
Yes. Iowa Central has really grown tremendously, and which is just so exciting and really a reflection of the support that we receive from our community. But the question, I've been there 8 years. I'm the Executive Director of Development and Alumni Affairs, so handle lots of events that we use to bring our alumni to campus or to get them in the same spot and talk about the things that are happening at Iowa Central. I also work on scholarships and then general fundraising, whether it's a capital campaign or a special project or just general funds to help support the foundation.
So what led you to that position there? Was that something where you were, oh, I miss being a cheerleader, I miss Iowa Central, I love Fort Dodge, or what was the gist?
Getting into fundraising was a fluke, to be honest. I went to Iowa Central and graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism. And so my first career was working in radio, and I was a news reporter and a news director for a radio station here in Fort Dodge, and then KVFD. And then I went to Sioux City and was at KSCJ for many years, had a radio show, Drive Time Live, back in the day. And then I transitioned to television, and I worked in television as a news anchor for about 5 years for the NBC affiliate there. And my coworker, Christy, she was our morning weather, and I was on the news desk, and she left to go into fundraising. And her and I had really become really best friends, and she was doing this fundraising, and I was realizing that television was fun, it was exciting, but it was also exhausting. It demanded an enormous amount of your time, and I just didn't really love it as much as I thought I was going to. And she's like, you should be a fundraiser. You would be good at that. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. And so, as I watched her blossom and grow in her career and learn more about it, there was an opportunity in Storm Lake. And I applied for that position at Faith Open Charity. They've been since bought out, but started raising money for them. And I've been with it ever since. So that's been like 20 years now.
Wow, that's super cool. I'm just going to backtrack. A career in broadcasting. Mm-hmm. That explains why you're so even on the mic. I was just thinking that when we started this, she doesn't even have headphones on, very consistent, smooth vocals. I love it. So, that's kind of fun though. Like that was an industry that kind of changed very rapidly. So
absolutely,
a pivot probably was necessary eventually.
Right. There, when I was in television and radio, we went out and got the story with a cameraman, and the camera was gigantic, and you would pull your, muscles trying to load it everywhere, and you were a one-man band doing your own stand-up, and it was an interesting time.
What the public sees and what actually is going behind the scenes is two different worlds completely.
Absolutely. It's very different.
It's crazy when you see field reporters do that too, where you're like, I didn't know this was just one person doing all this stuff.
Yes. I learned a lot.
I bet. So what does a typical day look like for you at Iowa Central then, as you do your duties there?
Yeah, every day is different because we have what I would call seasons within the foundation office. So different times of the year are focused on different areas. During the fall, we have our Hall of Fame event, which was started in 2010. And so we're heavily focused on working with our inductees, getting them prepared and ready for the Hall of Fame event. Scholarship season which is in early spring, is heavily focused on receiving the scholarships, vetting them, getting them to our readers and scoring them against the rubric and awarding them, which is the most fun. And then also always working with donors, lots of communication, donor visits in person, on the phone, emails, visiting with our donors about their priorities and what they want to see happen at the college that they want to help fund, whether it's a new building project or a program or a scholarship. So there's some consistency, but we also have these different seasons. So it's it doesn't stay the same for very long.
So let's drill into the scholarships portion of this. I am an alumni of Iowa Central myself.
Wonderful.
As a matter of fact, Dawn Humberg, who works here, was my teacher. So a nice accounting degree over there at Iowa Central. Scholarships, though, how do they impact the students? I know, at least when I went, I was a little older, so I had the time to kind of save up financially, but not everybody has that opportunity. So how do these scholarships impact students?
Well, the scholarships, we award nearly 300 from the foundation office. So, and that might seem like a big number. We've grown it about 48% since I started in 2018 at the college, which is tremendous. And we always have room for more. And folks can easily support a scholarship, which really makes a big impact for students. If your bill is $3,000 and you receive a scholarship for $1,000, that's real money. Mm-hmm. You see that as a win, it's addition by subtraction for that student. Seeing their bill become less, that means they can focus more on their studies. They can perhaps work fewer hours. They have less stress. We help remove that barrier. So for a student, that really matters. And it's so easy to become a scholarship supporter. $1,000 a year, $500 a semester to help one student is a tremendous gift to them.
So these scholarships, are they set up for specific things? I know a lot of times it's like in this area, we're going to have a scholarship, or sometimes they're just very general. Yeah, just here's a scholarship, whatever you want. So how are these set up then?
We have both. We have scholarships that are specific to students that are perhaps from the Fort Dodge area, a graduate of senior high or St. Edmunds, or they're from our 9-county region, and they're going to do an agriculture study. Or we have specific scholarships for students going into a healthcare field, whether it's medical lab technology, radiology, or nursing. So we have a variety. There really is something for everybody.
So if somebody wants to apply for these scholarships, is there a place on the website they can go to and click on?
Absolutely. We moved to a digital format. And when I started, before we were on paper, but we transitioned, and they fill out one application online. They do need to do it in a single setting. So I encourage students to really review the requirements and the questions that are being asked on the scholarship application before they get started. And then once they get started, they need to finish it within that one setting. So it's easy to do because they know all the information, right? Mm-hmm. You know your accomplishments. You can find out what your GPA is. And I really encourage students to don't always sing your praises. Highly encourage them to really look back and reflect on the things that they have done to help in their neighborhood, help their community, things they've been involved in. don't be shy.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things sometimes you think, oh, I did a good deed. Maybe one person mentioned it on Facebook or something. Now everybody knows, but not everybody knows.
Not everybody knows.
Like you said, it's a 9-county region that you guys directly support. I'm from one of those 9 counties, Humboldt County, but you guys don't always know what's going on up in Humboldt County or over in Calhoun or Pocahontas or wherever it happens to be. So it does behoove people to at least say, yeah, I volunteered here. I did this thing, or at school, I did these extra obligations,
Absolutely. Never undervalue the activities that you have been doing to help others. We love to see that on applications. We love it when a student goes the extra mile to write a personal essay. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because we only know what you share.
Right.
Get your letters of recommendation as well. We love to see 2-3 letters of recommendation too, not from your bestie, but send that letter of
And not from mom and dad.
Not from your parents.
So if you had mentioned community members and businesses can help support these scholarships, is there a way to do that? Can you go on the website again, or is that contact you directly, or?
Yes, please give me a call.
Okay.
My phone number is 574-1145. Would love to chat. We do have a minimal paperwork that we fill out, so we have a clear understanding of the direction that the donor wants to go with their scholarship. Who is their ideal candidate? Is it someone from this region, a certain area of study, a certain GPA? Those type of requirements. It can be general as well. If you say, I just want to give any student a scholarship for $1,000, fantastic. You can donate online. We have that as an option on our website. But otherwise, you can send me an email or give me a phone call. We'd be happy to work with them. And I have the wonderful privilege of working with Jolynn Price in my office. She's our executive administrative assistant for the foundation office, and she's well-versed in scholarships too.
I love that. I love also the fact that, like, if somebody's donating money, you're giving them the opportunity to still have some sort of autonomy. Where would you like this to go? What types of, curriculum would you like it to go towards, et cetera, et cetera. Even the GPA requirements, I want to make sure this goes to somebody that has proven that they have the track record that they're going to show up every single day and do the thing.
Absolutely.
I love that. That's so good.
Yeah. So sounds like you want to sponsor a scholarship.
I probably could have used a couple, but again, I stayed in the workforce a little later than I wanted to, and ended up saving up enough money to make it work out for myself.
Good for you.
But I tell you what, I regret not applying, because I was one of those people. It's like, I think I got it or whatever, but it's like, if you should have applied, you might have got one. You never know.
You never know, and it is a competitive process. However, we love to give money away. I mean, that is what we're there for.
Soundbite. All right, so let's shift gears over here. One of the other things I had down here was 100 Tritons Who Care.
Yeah.
Can you explain maybe what that is and how it started?
Sure. The 100 Tritons that care, I want to be the first to say that is not my idea. This is not an original idea.
Okay.
There's many, many groups that are 100 whatever that care, 100 women, etc. It was started many, many years ago by a gal who wanted to raise money to buy baby cribs for mothers who could not afford them. Nice. So we've adopted that idea at Iowa Central because there are so many Tritons. Folks that support Iowa Central may or may not be an alumni. It doesn't matter. And we get together twice a year. It's $100 gift each time. And at the meeting, which is going to be on Tuesday, April 28th of 2026 is our spring meeting. And you can go ahead and RSVP us at alumni@iowacentral.edu if you would like to attend. And we get together, we hear 3 presentations, and then everybody votes to see which area they want to support with their $100. And then we collectively raise $10,000 or more to support that project.
Wow.
At our first inaugural meeting, which was in the fall, we raised $12,000, and those that were in attendance to vote, they supported the Vet Tech program, which is newer to the programs that we offer at Iowa Central.
So you had mentioned this is alumni, not an alumni. It's open to everybody?
It is open to everybody. If you want to make a difference at Iowa Central, you are welcome to attend. So I'd love to see you there. Love to see you there.
Do people have to sign up for this to show up?
We do ask for an RSVP because the culinary students provide a dinner afterwards.
And that is well worth
Yes.
going. I guarantee you on there. Chef Michael will make and his team will be really a great way for you to spend the evening.
Absolutely. That's good stuff.
It is. The dinner is $20. Well worth every penny.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what kind of impact has this group already made? You had mentioned the vet tech program. Has there been any other, I guess I don't know, has there been any other contributions to any other departments?
That was our very first meeting in the fall.
One. So
that was inaugural. So we, that was the first go around, and we thought went really well. We met the goal of the 10,000 and actually raised $12,000. So,
nice.
And the vet tech program is a new one at Iowa Central as well to support veterinarians that are looking for assistance at their veterinaries.
Yeah, so this is a good opportunity for somebody to get in on the ground level of something then too.
Absolutely.
I love that. All right, so Iowa Central Hall of Fame. What is it? How does somebody get in? Can I get in? Like, how does it work?
Hall of Fame podcaster. There you go.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. Sign me up.
So the Hall of Fame was started in 2010 by Tom Beneke, who's our vice president of student affairs, getting ready to retire actually at the end of June, and my predecessor, Lori Hendricks. So since then, we have inducted hundreds of alumni into the Hall of Fame, and they fall into different categories. Athletics, so you can be an outstanding athlete, an athletic team. The Humanitarian Award is our most prestigious award, and that's typically someone who has given to the college in a very large philanthropic way and also made a big difference in their community through their life's work. And then we have Distinguished Alumni, and so that is someone who has made a difference in their community. They've been involved with Iowa Central. And then we also have our outstanding, like distinguished faculty and staff. And
cool.
So then that would be someone who had taught at the college or they were a faculty member for many years and made a difference. We have so many, we send out 1,200 W-2s, and we have a lot of employees that make a difference behind the scenes, in very quiet ways. But we want to acknowledge and recognize that if there's an opportunity to do so with the Hall of Fame.
So if somebody wants to nominate somebody, you can see my spelling. If somebody wants to nominate someone, how do they go about doing that? Is it another website visit?
Absolutely.
Nice. The website's going to be down below, everybody. Yes. You don't have to search for it. Just scroll down and click on it.
Yes. So on our website, you go onto the Alumni Foundation page, and then there's an area for Triton Hall of Fame. And then you will see the different applications, and you can go ahead and fill that out. Please give us a call if you need some additional information, because it asks, what year did they graduate? You may not know that right off the top of your head. We're happy to help with that information. And you also have to have letters of recommendation. Okay. And then all applications go through a process of being reviewed and approved. And then we always have more applications than we do have spots, because it is an evening program. We can't be there for 10 hours. So that's the process that we use.
I love that. So one of the things I'd fielded as a question on here, I don't know if it's able to be answered in one blanket statement, but are there qualities that the Hall of Famers all share? I would assume that athletics, they kind of might gravitate towards themselves being something, same thing with the philanthropic but is there something they all share?
One commonality, a thread that I see when I listen to the folks that are inducted as they're giving their thank you speech the night of the event, is gratitude for the experience and impact that Iowa Central had on their life. And going to a community college, right after high school, because perhaps they didn't know what they wanted to do with their life. Perhaps it was because it was the most affordable. It was because of family situations, or they went there to excel in the sport of their choice, and never regretting the time that they had at Iowa Central, and that it really shaped who they are today, and really thankful that they started at a community college.
Can confirm, yes, to all of those. I will say that I went to Iowa Central straight out of high school because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Sorry, Mom, I never finished, but I did go back and finish. So 2 different walks of life. I'd been to Iowa Central, and it made an impact both times. It was very eye-opening to go after high school to kind of, see what the real world was like, in some capacity.
Yes.
It is a microcosm, but it's still the real world. You're interacting with people you've never interacted with before. You're at a new place doing new things. But then to go back as an adult also was amazing. It was such a great experience. And like you said, it life-changing. It's very life-changing if you go through and you put your heart into it,
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah. Took a couple tries, but we got there, and I'm very happy I did because, when I went back, it was, we're going to sidetrack here, but I didn't really know what to do. I just went in the front office, was like, help me figure this out. And I mean, it was, people basically held my hand through every single building, was like, this is what you can do here. This is what I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So can I nominate everybody? Just go in the front office, be like, I want all these people in there.
Absolutely. And to your point where you mentioned that, folks kind of held your hand as you went along, that is still true today. We have the new Greehey Student Success Center, and we really built that as the one-stop shop for students. So if you're coming in and you're like, I'm not really sure how to go about this process, but I know I want to go to college. I know I want to get a skill set. No worries. All of the team that you need to get you into that, into the classroom, they're all right there. It's really a one-stop shop: financial aid, advising, admissions, foundation for scholarships, the business office, housing, even getting a mailbox key if you're going to be living on campus. So it's really that opportunity to come to Iowa Central. You don't need to have all the answers. We're there to help.
I love it. So if you guys went to Iowa Central and you just absolutely loved an alum or one of the administrators there, one of the teachers there, something like that, maybe throw a nomination for the Hall of Fame. Do you have any memorable Hall of Fame inductions or moments or honorees that you've seen over the years?
I would like to just say all of them since I've been, back at Iowa Central, and there's so many really great stories. When attending the banquet, there's definitely some tears that are shed. Folks get very emotional as they're giving their thank you, as they reflect back on their time at the college and what the life that they've built and the people that have surrounded them, as they've grown in their career or, in their life. So I really can't single out anybody. I love them all.
So you also mentioned you're the director of development and alumni. So that's one of the things I always thought was kind of tough was if you're a student, you graduate, I feel like sometimes people just kind of close the door on that chapter in their life. It must be difficult to kind of reach out to the alumni. Plus there's so many of them. I think about every year, it's like, I don't know, thousands of people graduating a year. I'm not 100% sure exactly how many go through all of the different coursework there, but how do you wrangle these cats? How do you go out there and reach out into the real world? Because people are moving on to another university, into different states, sometimes into different countries. They're going back to their home countries, depending on if they were, a scholarship athlete on, that type of thing. So how do you find all these people and reach out to them?
It is not easy. I will be perfectly honest. It is a heavy lift, but a good one. Like, it's a great problem to have because our enrollment is well over 6,000 students.
Oh, wow.
Wow is right. Yeah. It is really, really grown. And yes, hundreds of students graduate each year. Some transfer, some go right into the workforce. And for some folks, we have a software system, so that is helpful. It helps us keep addresses up to date when they're moving, et cetera. Especially for folks that get married and they take on their spouse's last name.
Think of that.
That is really a challenge. There are different programs that we can use. Alumni Finder is a software program that helps us find those names. But I do lean into our social media. If you ever take a look at our Facebook page, and, huge shout out to Paul DeCourcy that started our social media platforms and built up our Facebook page, and it continues to do really fantastic today. You'll see the activity on there is really tremendous. And so we know our alumni and supporters and friends are engaging with us and seeing the great things that are happening at the college, whether it's a new program that we have started, student accomplishment, athletic accomplishments, these type of things. So there's that level of engagement, and we're on all of the platforms. We're on the Twitter and the TikTok and all of these type of things. I'm not on all of those personally. I'm old, but I do.
I'll put links down below to everything.
Yes.
So you don't
Excellent.
have to search for them.
Thank you. So that is one way we stay engaged. But the 100 Tritons That Care, that is a new endeavor that we've started, and many of the folks that are participating in that are alumni. And now with our new this Center for Performing Arts and the
Beautiful building, by the way, beautiful.
If you have not been there yet, I highly encourage you to attend a performance, The Prince of Egypt, that will be starting at the end of February. So we hope folks get their tickets and come on out. It is a beautiful space. And we have donor appreciation events prior to the Prince of Egypt. That will be on that Friday evening. So donors are invited, alumni and friends. So that's another way we connect. We do that in the fall as well with a special luncheon. So we have a different, there's not a big enough budget to do all of the things.
Yeah, of course.
With the amount of alumni that we have. Wow. But it is always a work in progress.
I say Iowa Central started in the 70s. Is that right?
This is our 60th year.
Yes.
We started officially in 1966.
66.
Because
Wow.
that was actually Fort Dodge played an integral part in setting up community colleges across the state.
Yes.
Wow. And that makes me think how much, 66, you go to 60 years, hundreds of people a year. That's a lot of alumni to try and track down.
It is.
And actually, even the campus is like a mini city with all the students that live there in the dorms.
Yeah, it's a fun place. It was neat to see how it changed when I first went after high school, and then 10 years later. And then recently I've gone there and done some presentations and stuff for different departments. And it's neat to see how it's changed in another 10 years. So it's also wild to think it was been 10 years since I've been there. Feels like it was just yesterday.
Time goes by so fast.
It sure does. So we had mentioned all of these programs are not just for alumni, but like they're also just for the community. The people within the community are supporting Iowa Central. What are some ways that the community supports you, or like how is it important, or why is it important for the community to support you? You had mentioned maybe 100 Tritons Who Care. You don't necessarily have to be an alumni. Most people are, but are there people that aren't alumni that go? Okay, so how do you maintain that community support then?
We have been so fortunate that Fort Dodge in this region has supported Iowa Central, and you can see that support through the growth that we have experienced. You think about the recent bond issue that was passed, on the very first try. That is amazing, and that is a testament and a reflection of the community supporting the work that we do at Iowa Central. It says, we believe in the good things that you are doing for students to come to Iowa Central, earn their degree or certification and be a part of the workforce. There are not enough people in the state to fill every job that is open, and community colleges play a significant role in training the folks to, fill those positions. And Iowa Central, we're a big part of this region. We're very grateful that our community supports us. And that vote through the bond, I think, is a tremendous, we love you, Iowa Central. Here's my vote of a yes to pass the bond issue so that you can continue to grow.
Yeah, it seemed like a no-brainer to me. I get that everyone's got different priorities, and this isn't a political podcast, but I was so happy to see that passed through. Guys put a lot of work into that. There was a lot of promotional work as well, and it seemed like it was a very good cause. It helped me in my life, so I figured, help everybody else.
In the building of the ag building, that's part of that referendum is going to be huge. And what a great location for it as well. It'll be great for people coming into the community and seeing that. And of course, we are an agricultural community, so something that is definitely needed.
Yeah, that makes me even think about like the biolabs building that we
did the video for.
Did a video for that as well. Agricultural community. You've got I don't want to pigeonhole any companies or leave any out, but there are companies that helped. They were like, yes, this is a need for us, and we would actually, the whole community and state would benefit from having one of these here. And it's just kind of neat to see how everybody kind of just locks arms. Like, will this help you? Will this help you? Can we get some politicians involved to kind of like, just raise a flag and ding the bell and just be like, hey, this is something that maybe we should all focus on. And I think that's something that's really kind of cool. I had current priorities and initiatives on here. Maybe that's not necessarily 100% your department, but are there any fun things that you're working on that I haven't mentioned here? I'm sure you seem like you're a very busy person. So what do you have going on that I haven't mentioned?
Well, the priorities that the foundation has really support what the overall goals and priorities of the college. So right now that is the Ag Center for Science. So we're working on some fundraising behind the scenes for that project. Also our dental hygiene program. We need to have some growth in that program because there's a shortage of dental hygienists in this region and across the state. So that is a project. Scholarships are always a priority. Our vet tech program, as well as we grow that. We have a waiting list of students to getting in, so we're doing some fundraising in that area as well.
That's pretty awesome. They have a waiting list for just the curriculum at a school. It's like, this is so important and so many people want to come here that you almost have to just be like, wait a semester or wait a year, do your gen eds first and then come over here to this. I think that is so cool. I know some people see it as like, oh, it's a little competitive, but at the same time, that's the benefit of it because you know that it's a good department that people want to go through.
Absolutely.
So if a local business is listening to this or somebody that's an individual that's, maybe influential in the community and maybe they've kind of passively been listening to this, they've had their ears plugged through the first half of this podcast, how can they partner with Iowa Central? What's the best way to reach out and to get involved?
Really just give me a call and I can help put your phone call into the right direction, depending on how you want to be involved with the college. If it's a scholarship or you want to support a certain department, that can start with us as well. Nice.
So you do a lot of work, a lot of different departments, a lot of different programs at Iowa Central. What's the most rewarding part of your day?
Oh, gosh.
You have to pick one. No, I'm just kidding. But what is the most rewarding part of your day?
I don't know about every day, but every year when we're at the graduation ceremony, we're at commencement, and we're seeing the students walk across the stage to accept their diploma, their degree, it just fills your cup and it overruns because the smiles, the cheering from the parents, this is a huge accomplishment for many, many families. We serve so many students that are first generation, meaning their parents did not go to college. So they are literally changing, their family tree by attending college and graduating and then, starting to have a better life because of their ability to, be more successful in their world. So that day just culminates everything. The difficult days disappear when you're at commencement because the smiles on the face of the students is just, it warms your heart in a very big way.
Absolutely. I think about, when I went, I was in my, let's just say late 20s. That's a good round number. But there were people in their 30s and 40s and 50s through the programs. And it was neat to see these people work hard to change their lives. It's really kind of cool to go 10 years past that and be like, most of these people still have jobs that they got when they left Iowa Central, or they're still working in the same field, or this has definitely bettered their position in life. And I think that's one of the things it was really kind of cool to see people that were, like I said, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, go through and graduate and do something they wanted to do with their lives. Maybe their whole life they've been waiting for this opportunity to do it, and they finally did it. They finally struck when the iron was hot. So there's nothing that just makes me smile so much, just seeing my classmates walk across. And I know it feels cheesy and stuff, but I got to see all the work they put in because I had to put in the same work.
Right.
So it was just kind of fun. Oh man, this has been so entertaining. I feel like this has been enlightening. If somebody is if you're looking for like a final message, maybe to students, alumni, a company, whoever it happens to be, the community, this is how you get involved. This is what I think you should take away from this. One last message for everybody. What would you say?
I would say continue to support Iowa Central because we are a true difference maker in our community on a variety of levels, whether it's impacting the workforce, economic impact. Iowa Central, we think we're a pretty big deal, and I hope you do too. I
will say it. It helps people's self-esteem and everything. Because I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than like being in your 20s and being like, I should just go get a college degree. And then, to go there and be like, I actually can get one of these things and it's attainable. And then to go through and do it, it was it helped me out quite a bit. I loved it. So,
And my family as well. My mom went to Iowa Central as an adult and became a teacher. And then I went to Iowa Central, and we've talked about my career path. And then my middle daughter, she just graduated from there, is at a transfer to UNI. Speech language pathology is her degree. And then my youngest daughter, she'll be coming this fall and will play volleyball for the Tritons. So
Cool.
I mean, we are all in Iowa Central.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Volleyball, holy cow. A lot harder than you think it is. I remember trying to play it in high school and be like, I can do this.
Just because you're tall, you thought you could spike.
You take one of those spikes to the face. I was just like, I'm done. I don't know how you guys do this.
She got all of her talent and height from her dad, because I am short and I was never athletic. So
Oh man. Oh gosh. This has been so fun. We like to end these podcasts with the same question. So
Okay.
This is a marketing firm, Spin Market. That's basically what we do all day. We talk about it. We kind of think about it, how it impacts us. We were recently talking about like different commercials we've seen and what we thought about them. I was like, you guys remember this commercial? And I think it was funny because Megan said, oh, did you notice that this, and this was in the commercial?
Yeah.
And I was like, I've seen this commercial 50 times and never thought about it, But
It's fun when the entire team gets together and talks about those things, because different things get pulled out and everybody has a different vision of a commercial. And just like you indicated there, Megan pulling out ideas that you hadn't even thought about.
Yeah, it was wild. It was like a wintertime setting, and there was a panda bear in the wintertime set. And it was like, I guess it didn't cross my mind to think about it, but she's like, yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. So, has marketing ever impacted your life? Has there been a time where you've kind of like run across some marketing and you didn't really think about it until after it was all said and done? You're like, oh, I have the product in my hand, or like that commercial really did resonate. Has there ever been a time like that?
I had to think long and hard about this question, because my first thought was my daughters are always influencing me. They're very much into things that they see and hear on TikTok, and I'm always learning from them. So they're always influencing me to try something new and spending money that I probably didn't need to spend, but I do it anyway because they think, oh, you should try this. It's really great, etc. But then I was thinking about this gift I received from my husband, and I'm like, how did that come about? It was because of the show Landman. I'm not sure if you're watching that show, but there's a gal who's an attorney on that show. And early on, and I'm not sure if she still wears it, but she was wearing this necklace. And I thought, that is so cute. I love that necklace. So, and it wasn't a promotion, but I just saw it, many times watching that show. So I went online, I found what I thought was, the necklace, and I sent it to my daughters, and I said, I would bet, Dad would want to get me this for my birthday.
Oh, you did that really slick. Love it. That daughter moving that instead of you saying it. Good job.
They come in very
Mary.
handy.
Yeah, that's chess. Well, the guys are playing checkers and y'all are playing chess.
Needless to say, I got the necklace for like my Mother's Day or birthday gift or something, and I love it. Cool. So that was I thought that was my best example.
That's good.
I don't know if it meets the requirement, but
I do like that. I feel like we can open a short dialogue on this. Like that could very well have just been product placement, which is like one of my favorite parts about marketing is someone can just be wearing something and that's it. They don't have to say anything about it. You just noticed it because you thought it was cute. And then
the Walmart bag on the table, whatever on there. They didn't say anything about Walmart, but the bag was there with the signature logo on it.
A certain company's shirt. I don't know if there's any menswear places in town that want to sponsor us, but I could always use new shirts. I don't know.
When I worked in television, it would be floral arrangement sponsored by so-and-so, hair provided by so-and-so, all the time.
All right, so we can put that down in the lower third at the end of every episode. If there's Foley, you listening? Foley's, that's still around?
Foley's is still open.
Right, I remember renting a tux from there a while back. Love that place. Buddy of mine bought a cool hat there too. I'm not a hat. Well, not those kind of hats. I'm more of a baseball cap guy, but he bought some cool felt hat there. I don't know, but random plug for them anyways. Throw me a t-shirt, guys. I like that. I don't think anyone's brought that topic up.
No, that was very original.
Question.
Very original, Mary.
And it's wild because we've asked, and we're getting close to asking 100 people this question. That'll be the second podcast that we have been in charge of that will have hit
100,
which is wild.
which is wild because less than 15% of all podcasts make it to 100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we'll actually be above the average on that curve.
Yes, very much
That's
so.
awesome.
Kudos.
So, anybody's looking for anything, the links are down below. Get a hold of Mary. Be like, hey, I have questions about any of this stuff. Like you said, you can point somebody in the right direction, even if that's one of my favorite things about Iowa Central. You could just walk into a building like, I don't know, where am I supposed to go? And they'll just be like, right there, that person right there. That's the best part about it. So if you guys are looking for anything Iowa Central, get a hold of Mary. All the links are down below. Anything else you want to say on the way out?
Thank you. Really appreciate this opportunity. Go Tritons.
Yes. Well, we got one more thing to do really quick, though. This is Buster the Bulldog, and he is our mascot because we are bulldogs to getting you digitally online. And so what we'd like is to have all of our guests give Buster just a little bit of a rub on the head for good luck.
Buster.
Yes. And thank you very much, Mary.
I love my dogs.
Oh, what's the name? Before we go, what's the names?
Benji and Bruno.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Benji. Hi, Bruno. I know you're watching at home. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Thank you.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarketwith2ks.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarketwith2ks.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarketwith2ks.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarketwith2ks.com.